Hello everybody, it's Lisa. Today we are talking about something that is really frustrating for so many women, and that is overactive bladder. Overactive bladder can be just that urgency where you feel like you have to go to the bathroom right away. It's urinating 8 times per day or 2 times per night, and it can really just interfere with so much in our lives. You know, being able to go out to dinner with a friend and chat through the whole meal without thinking about going to the bathroom, or attending a wedding, a graduation ceremony, even sports events for, you know, your grandchildren or children. And it really can play so much into women's lives. And honestly, as someone who has suffered with a painful bladder, I know firsthand how very frustrating and difficult and shameful bladder issues can be. So today I wanted to talk a little bit about some solutions, first step solutions for overactive bladder, and also different supplements, things that can be very helpful. So there's going to be a lot here, so stay tuned for everything. One of the first things in really taking control of overactive bladder are looking at some foods that may be bladder irritants. And just to back up a little bit, especially as we are in menopause and estrogen starts to decline, there is that genitourinary syndrome of menopause. So this can include, you know, more frequent UTIs, urinary tract infections. It can include that overactive bladder, just that irritation in the vaginal area, just so much. So this is all part of it. So that's why I wanted to talk a little bit about the one specific part of this syndrome, and that is the overactive bladder. So as I said, one of the very first ways in getting started in taking control of overactive bladder is taking a look at what you're eating. There are a lot of foods that can be very irritating to the bladder, things that are spicy, acidic, even sugary foods and drinks can really cause that bladder irritation, chocolate, alcohol. So what I always say is, even if you, let's say, are having a glass of orange juice in the morning, that acidity can really start the day. Hi there, having some great people join me today. Thank you, everybody. Having that cup of coffee in the morning along with a glass of orange juice. So you have the acidity in the orange juice, you have the caffeine in the cup of coffee, and this can really just start your day where you are just having to run to the bathroom all day. So really take a look at what you are eating. As I said, those acidic foods. So, you know, having, you know, lemon on top of your salad. You know, sometimes people will always, you know, put a little bit of lemon juice on top of, you know, fish or salad or whatever. That acidity can be causing overactive bladder. The spicy foods, you know, when you go out to a Mexican restaurant and you have the salsa or even the tomato sauce at an Italian restaurant, especially when traveling, a lot of women will experience this because you're eating different foods that you may not, somebody's saying when you're teaching a class and you have this urge to go, yes, it really just can affect so many aspects of life. And a lot of women, you know, it really interferes with their job. You know, I know for myself with my painful bladder, you know, working 12 hours a day in a pharmacy and having to run to the bathroom every 15 to 20 minutes, it was not any fun. So I know this is really can be very, very difficult. So as I said earlier, just take a look at what you're eating, those spicy foods, acidic foods. As I started to say, when you're traveling, you may be going out to dinner more often, to those Mexican restaurants, to the Italian restaurants, and you're starting your day off with a beautiful brunch at your restaurant, at the hotel where you're staying, where you're having that cup of coffee and the orange juice and a fruit salad, and all of these things can be affecting the overactive bladder. The good news is that there is a product. I should have brought it up here to my office with me, but I didn't. It's called Pre-Leaf, and you can get it on Amazon. You can get it at your favorite corner drugstore. It's in a blue bottle, Pre-Leaf. It's calcium glycerophosphate, and it takes 90% of the acid out of foods. And it's been so helpful that actually it is now known to be a medical food for women who have painful bladder, interstitial cystitis, because many of these women were using the Pre-Leaf calcium glycerophosphate when they were eating different foods, and realized that it was really just helping their bladder pain so much. So now it's considered a medical food. So check that out, Pre-Leaf. I do believe I have that linked in my Amazon storefront, but you can get it at your favorite corner grocery store or drugstore as well. The other thing that's another really big first step in taking control of overactive bladder is pelvic floor focused exercise. So things like yoga, pelvic floor physical therapy, that can be really helpful in strengthening the pelvic floor. The Pre-Leaf, I'm going to spell that. It's P-R-E-L-I-E-F. So it's Pre-Leaf. It's in a blue bottle and it's calcium glycerophosphate. So safe to take with your meals. And again, Pre-Leaf, P-R-E-L-I-E-F. So very, very helpful. Even if you were having stomach issues, you know, if you were having that stomach birth, somebody's asking about my belt. No, I don't think it is. If you're having stomach issues while you're, you know, because of a lot of acidity in your stomach, Pre-Leaf can be really helpful. And I will say that it's one of the products that when I recommend it to people, they often share that they have really fantastic results with it. So check that out. It's Pre-Leaf. Then going on to the pelvic floor focused exercises. If you are experiencing any overactive bladder, any of the syndrome of menopause with the urinary tract infections, definitely talk to your doctor about this. Pelvic floor physical therapy can be really helpful, not necessarily for the UTIs. And I do have a great YouTube video on urinary tract infection, so be sure to check that out. Head over to my YouTube channel. But if you're experiencing overactive bladder or any bladder issues, pelvic floor issues, check out the pelvic floor physical therapy. I wanted to talk a little bit about, and I have some helpful products here, I'm using them to keep me on track, but I wanted to talk a little bit about vaginal estrogen because so many women are really concerned about using vaginal estrogen, and I feel like it's really misunderstood. So a lot of women will say to me, oh, I'm supplementing with estrogen, I'm taking estrogen, and they're actually just only using a vaginal estrogen, or women are supplementing with hormonal therapy, but they really only, are using a patch or a cream or a tablet, and they're still having these symptoms with the overactive bladder, increased UTIs, the vaginal dryness, and they're wondering why this isn't helping. It's because you definitely do need the vaginal estrogen. So this isn't absorbed the way that your body would absorb other estrogen. It stays very local. I have had women share with me that they did feel that they experienced systemic symptoms with vaginal estrogen, but for the most part, it's very safe. A lot of doctors are even prescribing it for women who've had breast cancer. So check with your doctor on that because it really can be very helpful. And since it stays right in the area where it's working, it can be very helpful with building up the tissue in the vaginal area and helping with that dryness, that uncomfortableness that can lead to a lot of these other symptoms. So check with your doctor on that because it really can be helpful. And a lot of it, can be a little bit dose dependent. The more frequently you're using it, there could be slightly more absorption. Another thing that a lot of people say is that when the tissue is very dry, when you first start using it, it does absorb quickly. So there might be a little bit more systemic absorption, but very, very helpful. And a lot of women are just using a lot of caution and not really understanding that there is a difference between supplementing with bioidentical hormone therapy or hormone therapy and using a vaginal estrogen. So definitely talk to your doctor about that. And that's what I wanted to share. One of the things here, this company sent this to me, and it's called ApoEm. And what it is that they're little packets, and it's Indian Chrysanthemum. So, I also studied herbalism. So anytime you can use an herbal product, that can be really helpful. So they're in little individual containers, and the chrysanthemum really can help lubricate the wall of the the vaginal tissue and be really helpful. So this, I don't have a discount code for them, but they were kind enough to share this with me for my followers, and I agreed because I really feel that this is something that women can really benefit from. It's their ApoEm secret oil, and I do believe that you use it daily. It's for tissue requiring tightening and support. So I do believe this is a daily. Now with vaginal estrogen, a lot of times what they will do is use a loading dose where you may use it for like a week straight or so, but then just go down to twice per week. So talk to your doctor about this. But this one, ApoEm, it is Indian Chrysanthemum. So if you even look that up, it can be really helpful with strengthening tissue and lubricating tissue. So this can be very helpful for those who are hesitant in using a vaginal estrogen. I did also want to share another daily lubricant. This one is just more of a lubricant. It's not really for strengthening tissue, although it does have hyaluronic acid and over time can most likely strengthen the tissue. This is Glow by Hormone University Intimate Hydrator. So this is another thing safe to use daily, safe for intimacy. I do have a code on this one. It's Lisa 15 at Glow by Hormone University. And on this, it really is something that their entire line I absolutely love. I use their magnesium and collagen lotion at night to sleep, and it's a game changer. I love it. And which brings me to my last supplement, which is magnesium. And actually I just thought of two more that I want to share. But one of the other things is with overactive bladder is having a very full bowel, and being constipated can really also press on your bladder and cause that fullness, which can lead to more symptoms of the overactive bladder. So I love magnesium at night. It's really helpful for sleep and to what I always say, keep things moving. So having good gut health, taking a probiotic, even digestive enzymes as we get older, our hydrochloric acid can decrease and we're not digesting as well as we possibly can. Increase the fiber in your diet. Fiber is super important for having that regularity, and magnesium is very helpful for that as well. So check with your doctor if these supplements can be right for you, and then alleviating that constipation can be very helpful also in helping with overactive bladder. Last but not least, and I don't have them here to share, but two other things that are really helpful. Pumpkin seed extract can be very helpful for overactive bladder. I eat a lot of pumpkin seeds myself, but Azo, which is a brand that is found in any drugstore. Azo Standard are the little red tablets you take when you have a urinary tract infection and they help with the pain. But Azo has a pumpkin seed extract. So you can get that over the counter. And then also another really great thing is raspberry leaf tea is very great to strengthen the pelvic floor and can be very helpful with toning the pelvic floor, also for women who are experiencing painful periods, that type of thing. Again, always just check if that's right for you. Another one that I just remembered, vitamin D. A lot of women who have a weak pelvic floor are lacking in vitamin D, so that may be something to look into with your doctor as well. So I hope that this was helpful. I'm going to be posting it so that you can ask any questions as well, and I will also be sharing it over to my YouTube page as long as I can download it, and I would love for you to follow me on YouTube as well. I have many different topics there, long form videos where I can get more into depth, just as I did today, where we can, really support each other, discuss. Somebody saying very helpful. Thank you. I appreciate that. Bladder issues are something that really touched my heart because for many, many years, I experienced a painful bladder. I am so very thankful that I've gained freedom from bladder issues, but I know it affects your day-to-day, even just a trip to the grocery store, more than anybody can really imagine. So I'm glad that you found this helpful, and I appreciate you all so much. And any questions, just ask below. I'll talk to you soon.